world buys meme coins. So the crypto. This is an analysis of four cryptos that I bought a week ago, about a week ago, Friday ago, Saturday today, which is a rugby day for some of us watching Six Nations. Which is the reason why we're doing this early. So Lou, I put in $20. It is now at $34.43. M7F put $20. It is now at $5.12. Don't die green. $20 was put in. Now it's at $17.79. Wepe, Wall Street Pepe. I put in $20 and now it's at $30.04. And finally, as a bonus, Griffin, I put in $10 and now it's at $2.61. So it looks like I'm in the green on Lou and Don't Die.
Mm.
Sorry, Lou and Wepe, and I'm in the red in M7F and Don't Die.
Yeah. But with the don't die, it's only slightly off, so it's not changed too much in that aspect of things. But no, it's good to see that WebPay has gone up though, for yourself. Yeah.
Definitely, and there's still a chance, right, that these meme coins, who knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks, right? This is also a red day, right? Generally speaking, because it's February 1st, a lot of options expired in the US and I'm sure in the UK as well yesterday. A lot of people got liquidated. So the fact that we still have like two out of the five that are, in the green, and let's be honest, not many stocks can go from $20 to $34. So the fact that you can have Blue and Wepe go from $20 to basically over $30, that's an over what that's an over 25% increase, which again then
Mm.
stock market, if you have 100% increase in 7 years, that's considered like amazing. If you have like
Mm.
even a 7% increase in a whole year, 350, whatever long the year is, that's like an insane, really good return, just 7%. So anyway, going from here, what do you think is going to happen? Just give me an analysis. Obviously we ended the month last year, UTC Bitcoin at its high is closing ever. And generally speaking, the cryptocurrency market was pretty much in green, and we had that turning of phase one to phase two, the bull market cycle, where basically Ethereum began yesterday throughout the
Yeah.
night, and this morning is still technically outperforming Bitcoin. Does that mean that we're going into alt season, or what's going on?
Because at the moment, what I've noticed with the BTC is that it's it's showing that it's bullish on my more or less money indicator. However, through the weekly charts, I see there's like a divergence between the RSI and the tokens itself. So slightly going up in that aspect of things, but there is obviously a slight divergence there, but not like a massive one just yet. If it becomes a bit more clearer, then it could be that prices could go further down. But on the monthly chart, though, it's a little bit of a different story where shown as the RSI as 75 plus. So it's a little bit oversold at the moment. There is potential it could be oversold quite soon.
Bitcoin is oversold.
Um, it's slightly oversold, but not massively. If when it comes to about 80, 90, that's where it becomes like an alarming rate. But it's above 70 right now, though, above 75. But it's not too high just yet. Because the highest that it was happened in 2020, March 2021, where it was the highest at 90.41. But it wasn't at, and then after that point, then it slowly went down. But sometimes with the RSA charts, it can tell you a different story. So it's all to do with how far you check back as well.
By the way, I just want to make a funny comment. You're gonna like this. So people on
Okay.
YouTube, they don't know that World Blockchain Capital, I started it, but now it's a team. And when I say, listen, our team is doing technical analysis, our team is doing this, our team is doing that, they're like, what's your team? I'm like, we have a team. We have you, we have other technical analysts in the group chat as well. We have the intern. We just call him the intern because it's funny. But
Yeah.
he from Suffolk University started us. He started with us he started with as being my intern for a separate organization, and he actually didn't understand crypto at all. Just fun fact. And now, not only does he love crypto and he's invested in crypto, but he's also
Mm.
teaching himself how to code crypto language, Solana, and Ethereum. I think Solana is, I forget, script or something. Anyway, A lot of them are just C++, but just like alterations of C++, which is the original coding language, the simple one.
Yeah.
Well, for people like us, I don't know about the general public. Anyway, let's go into, I just say just before we begin the next session, people that are in here, you might want to stay in here for this. Just like one of our heroes that's getting
Yeah.
rid of income taxes soon, which should affect the crypto market. Remember, if he gets rid of income taxes in the U.S., which is it is in Congress right now, and they're just waiting for all the Senate confirmations to happen with the cabinet, so you can have a, like you would say in the UK, a fully formed government. He's going to start. They're just going. He has control of the judiciary branch in our country in the U.S. Control of this
Mm.
the lower house, which is the House of Congress, the U.S. House here we call, and the
Yeah.
upper house, which is the Senate, U.S. Senate here. They already have written policy down for the Bitcoin strategic reserve slash crypto strategic reserve. And breaking news, Sully, our team. I'm not sure to what extent we're going to cover it, but we just got invited by the state of Alabama. They're
Right.
one of the first states that are going to be able to launch a strategic reserve to be at the signing. We're going to be standing behind the governor while he's signing the strategic reserve into law. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
Would
that
you
is
fly?
quite amazing actually. Yeah, in that sense.
Would you
Yeah.
fly? Would you
Sorry,
fly?
I just I got a bit
Why don't you
distracted
fly?
with
Why don't you fly? Yeah, but why don't you fly to the U.S. for that?
fly to the US. Um, Obviously, there's like a lot of unknowns in that aspect of things, but obviously, you have to have a good plan in terms of having enough. Hold on, I said the just said the comment. There. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry
So what I
about
was
it.
trying
And
to.
no, it's funny. Hey, listen, and that's all I gotta say is this. And at least in the U.S., maybe in the UK, just want to make a point. There are a lot of like white content creators, but in the US specifically, most crypto holders, hodlers, I'm dating myself, and I'm dating you too as well. Holders, people that buy and hold crypto, are under 40. And generally speaking, they're black and Hispanic females. And well, males. Females are a minority, sorry, messed up. Most
Hmm.
holders are black Hispanic males. And females are like less than 2% or something under 40, which is crazy. But we're representative of the demographic of people in the US and probably the UK as well that hold crypto. So anyway, continue your train of thought before you got distracted.
Yeah, so as I was saying, obviously, so to have to see like what the rules are in terms of like actually like moving to from the UK to the US in the aspect of things, but I have heard cases where like with the US where when they are to like lose their like give up their citizenship, or actually when they're working abroad, they actually get double taxed once in their country and once in the US. Do you have any news about if things are going to change in that aspect of
Listen, for
things?
that specifically, all I have to say is one thing. In the US, if you live abroad, you only get taxed on income over $120,000. I'm not sure how capital gains tax works, but that's generally the rule. So as long as you have a
Okay.
corporation or company, you talk to them like, listen, you got to pay me. I mean, not financial advice. Listen, after everything above $120,000, I get taxed back in the states. You can, figure it out. And also, you have expenses abroad that you can also write off. Again, I don't know
Right.
all the details, but generally speaking, for myself and a lot of the crypto bulls, what they do is that if they're in crypto specifically, they move to
Mm.
countries like UAE, Dubai, or the Dominican Republic, for example, or Kenya. Kenya, I'm not so sure. But let's just say UAE and Dominican Republic, where there's no capital gains on crypto anyway, cryptocurrency anyway. And again, if you're living abroad, there's probably a better structure for cryptocurrency capital gains specifically. I'm not sure about property and everything else.
Yeah.
But if they do get rid of that, the income tax, yes, that will affect Americans living abroad as well. That'll affect all Americans. That means no federal income tax. Only certain states in the U.S. Well,
Yeah.
most states have an state income tax, but if you're living abroad, you don't pay. To my knowledge, again, you have to consult a lawyer or a tax professional. To my knowledge, if you live abroad, let's say that you're from New York State, they have state and city income tax, and let's say the federal government gets rid of income tax. If you're living abroad, I'm pretty sure that you don't pay the state either because you're not a resident of the state. You have to be considered a resident of the state. You have to live in the state 6 months and one day. So what a
Yeah.
lot of people are going to do is, for example, there are 6 states or 7 states where there's no income tax at all. A lot of my friends do that are bankers. They're very wealthy people. They're very fortunate. It is what it is. they love New York City. New York City is New York City. It's like London in the UK. Some people, it's like a drug to some people. You either love it, you're addicted, or you hate it,
Yeah.
right? I love New York City. What they'll do is that they'll live in Florida or Texas, a state that has no state income tax for 6 months plus 1 day, or live in Puerto Rico where there's no state income tax and you don't pay any federal income tax by being a resident, 6 months and 1 day. And the rest of the time they'll spend in New York City so they can offset the income taxes in the state and city income tax as well.
I see. So it's like, I know obviously with the general income tax, does that mean that in this sort of case then that
I feel like I'm being
if you're
interviewed,
like,
by the
let's
way.
say for
I, I, feel- I,
example
feel- I, feel-
earning,
I feel like I feel like I'm interviewed. It's actually okay. Let's talk about this before we go into the because I think people want to talk about this, right? This is a conversation that a lot of people actually want
yeah.
to have, and obviously, if you have questions, that means that you're thinking to move to the U.S., which I'm happy about. I have a lot of friends from the UK that have been thinking about it for many years. The National Health Service is great, but with the tax that you guys pay there and being able to live in the U.S., a lot more economic freedom, higher salaries, certain places is more inexpensive. I understand. But continue your question,
Mm.
please.
Yeah, so I was saying that let's say for example you're earning like let's say $80,000 a year from like a job, but if you were like on the standard like the tax rate, I'm not sure what it is in the US right now, but let's just say if it's at 20% that you're paying each year, the following year you won't be paying any tax at all then in that case.
That
Or is there
means
a
if
certain
President,
threshold?
are you asking me if President Trump gets rid of income taxes income in total, right? Is that what you're asking me? What happens?
Yes.
There's no income tax at all at the federal level. The federal government does not tax you. That's a bigger one. That's like 20%, something like that. In
Mm,
addition to that, again, every state is on its own can have state level income tax. New York State is the only one that I know of that has, if you live in New York City specifically,
mm,
not if you live outside of New York City, in another city or another town in New York State. If you live in New York City,
of
you
course, yeah.
pay right now you pay federal income tax, state income tax, and city income tax. If President Trump gets rid of federal income tax, all you do is pay state income tax and city income tax in New York. If you live in a place like Florida or Texas where there's no state income tax at all, you're not paying any income tax if President Trump gets rid of it at the federal level.
Interesting. And what is like the general like state tax that they normally charge you?
It depends on the state. Every state's different.
Of course, yeah.
For capital gains, I know specifically for capital gains for obvious reasons.
Mm,
For example, the highest in the country is California.
yeah.
It's 11%. And then New York State is 10%. That's just capital gains at the state level,
Oh, yeah.
not accounting for the federal level as well. But President Trump only wants to get rid of income tax specifically. He has not said anything about capital gains. The
Oh,
only way
okay.
if you live in the US to get rid of federal capital gains is to live in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico residents are exempt from capital gains. I don't know what's
I
going to
see.
happen in Puerto Rico, but I do know that Puerto Rico it governs itself internally. As a territory, they have a 4% flat income tax on any basically income received in Puerto Rico. They have no capital gains tax, and you're exempt because the territory.
Oh, okay.
You're exempt from any paying any federal income tax or capital gains tax. So in theory, if you live in cryptocurrency, if you live off of cryptocurrency capital gains in Puerto Rico, you pay zero. So a lot of people decide to live there, but it's a tiny island and you may get island fever. However, you only have to live there 6 months out of a day. But hey, you're from England, you're from a tiny island, so maybe it'll be fitting for you. Basically, think of England, but with better weather. I'm kidding. It's a lot smaller than that. Puerto Rico's probably the size of Manchester itself, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. You can
That's
do the whole
interesting
island
to
like in
know.
5 or 6 hours. Like, and it used to be a country. What? Technically, it never was a country. It was always part of Spain. It was ceded to the
Yeah.
U.S. Yeah, it was never an independent, fully independent country. It always belonged to somebody. But
I see.
again, that's the situation. You have any other questions for me with regards to income taxes in the U.S. And are you seriously planning to move here?
Um, it's not something I've ever considered. I mean, I probably consider like traveling to the US, but nothing to like staying there. But
Well, I
maybe
was
like
gonna
other
say,
parts, maybe
I was
other
gonna say,
other parts of Europe.
I've lived in different states in the U.S. and I always say that if you're gonna move somewhere, it's probably better to first visit for a few days to a week. That's what I say,
Yeah,
and then make a decision.
of course. No,
And
absolutely.
also,
Yeah, go on.
you're into cricket, right?
Um, my brother is, but me, not. I used to be, but not so much anymore. but my brother's very into cricket. Yeah,
Oh, because I would say that if you really like cricket, I have a friend from England. He's Anglo. He's Caucasian, like
yeah,
traditional, a boarding school in where England, the porn capital of England's weirdly, just fun fact because I've been there. I went there for his wedding. So,
mm,
married a beautiful Indian, British Indian woman. In the UK, you
yeah.
guys say British Indian. In the US, we say Indian British or Indian
Of course,
American.
yeah,
Sorry, Indian American. So she loves cricket. Her family loves cricket. He loves cricket. He loves soccer. He loves rugby. Typical British bloke, as you guys would say. And he's thinking of moving to Houston, Texas, because they have like social cricket clubs or something. I don't know. So there's certain places. There's something for everybody in the U.S. You have all kinds of. Europe is the same size, so you guys have to leave England to go somewhere else. In the U.S., you have Florida, Puerto Rico, which is tropical. You have Hawaii, Samoa, which
mm,
is like Polynesian Asian. You have Alaska, which is the North Pole. You have the Midwest, which is a different culture than the East
mm,
Coast, West Coast. But anyway, let's get back into crypto. Obviously, this is good because the reason we're in crypto is because we want to be able to have financial freedom and be able to change our
absolutely. Yeah,
lifestyles if we still want to, right? If you want to live in a different country, the best way to do that is through investments. And President Trump's going to make it an amazing place to come if you have money and you want to be an investor. He wants to make it easier than ever if you have money, you want to bring money to the U.S.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that's
I'd
a great
potentially
segue
consider
into
it as like a business option. So if there's like the opportunities to make an income from there, then potentially do it in that aspect of things. But not so much as a like living there, but just do it as a way to sort of like visit the area and that kind of thing. Really,
but this is
it
the
is
thing
obviously
though
a big
that
option, but
if you're coming to the U.S., let's be honest. If you're coming to the U.S., we formed the structure here. We formed it for a few years. We're paying just to keep it alive. That we're going to be partners at a hedge fund slash venture capitalist firm that is involved in crypto, in addition to many other things that we do individually. So that for you would be really really easy.
mm,
For you to invest into a structure that we have as a partner to get a visa, bro, that's not an issue. I mean, that's
yeah,
breaking news. We don't want to talk about that, but we're not just doing YouTube videos and talking on WhatsApp about technical analysis. There's a plan, there's a method to this. And this is a good thing for us to say this February 1st. Well, before things go crazy, that we are planning on doing many other things besides YouTube. The YouTube channel is growing slowly. But listen, let's get
yeah.
into this analysis because I want to watch rugby.
Of
So,
course, yeah, that's fine.
so I chose the cryptocurrencies that I personally want to analyze today: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin,
Hmm.
Shiba Inu, ADA, Sui. Again, slower. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP,
Yeah,
Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, ADA, Cardano,
yeah,
Sui, and HBAR. Little note for that. Most people don't know that HBAR even exists.
yeah. It's
So I'm
short
gonna
for Hadara, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
Hedrera. Well, maybe Hadrara in England, but in the US we call it Hedrera. Anyway,
Yeah, I probably
listen,
pronounced it a bit wrong, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I don't even know. Listen, I call it H bar.
Hadara.
And when you look for it, when I'm doing posts on Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, whatever, you have to tag Hedrera. It is what it is.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna give you a low ball and a high number, like the low range
yeah,
and the high range for this year. These are gonna be crazy predictions. This is like of all the stars align. Crypto strategic reserves are being formed. President Trump gets rid of income tax, no capital gains tax on cryptos, which he specifically said. Eric Trump, in an interview with Forbes magazine, which is big in the UK too, said that he basically said HBAR and Ripple XRP are definitely going to be tax exempt this year. There's no
yeah.
question of it. He knows what he's talking about.
Of course, yeah,
I don't know. I don't think Bitcoin is made in the US, but it's only crypto is made in the US. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin is not. And Ethereum is definitely not made in the US. Solana is based in Switzerland, but somehow they're made in the US now. I don't know what they're doing. I think that President Trump's giving so listen closer to this. President Trump, when he's talking about tax exemption for businesses that have cryptocurrencies made in the United States,
yeah.
he's going to be giving them a grace period to move their headquarters from anywhere in the world to the US. So
Oh
once they
wow.
move to the US during this grace period, they will be their cryptocurrency will be capital gains exempt. And if your cryptocurrency from abroad,
Mm,
you want to be based in the outside the US, people that buy your cryptocurrency in the US will have to pay a 30% capital gains tax.
Oh well, that's quite
The
big.
the U.S. is the U.S. is the biggest market in the world in terms of cryptocurrency amount of cryptocurrency holdings per person, right? India is obviously a bigger country; they hold more, but I'm saying like just per capita holdings,
Of course.
stock market, our equity markets are the biggest in the world in terms of traditional equities and holdings of cryptocurrency. So if you're a company that wants to make money, you're gonna have to move to the US. This is where the money's at. But anyway, going forward, let's start with Bitcoin. First, I have a low ball number of for the end of the year. This is not first half of the year, second half of the year. There'll be time for that. The first half, for
Yeah.
the end of 2025, I predict that we're gonna have Bitcoin at a low range of at least $200,000 per token, or a high range of $250,000 per token. Why am I right? Why am I wrong? Go.
So I'd say for that one, it would be a bit too overpriced for it to reach that level. So in my opinion, it does still have its potential to pump further. So in my opinion, the range that I'd sort of like strive
Okay.
for
So
would be.
you're starting to freeze right now. What you
Oh,
said,
sorry.
by the time before you come back, you were saying that that is a highball number, and you're giving a better number, correct?
Yeah, so I'd sort of correct that to around between 150 to 140, the 140 to 150, as its range of how much it would grow by. That's just my opinion, yeah.
And basically what you're saying is that if it goes to 150, like it shoots up to 150 in the next 3 weeks, that's it. It's gonna basically top off, and then everything's gonna just float to Ethereum.
Um, Most likely, yes.
Okay, so what if game theory is real and all these states start beginning? Now it's 20 states, 25 states adopt Bitcoin because the federal US government is thinking of a crypto strategic reserve, but every state I'm talking to is saying
Mm,
Bitcoin only. So if 20 states
yeah,
right now are saying Bitcoin only, say, listen, we're going to do a Bitcoin only strategic reserve, and the US opens this strategic reserve to all cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. It's one of the biggest holdings. And other
yeah,
countries like Suriname say they voted in the pro Bitcoin president in May, and they're like, listen, we're going on the Bitcoin standard like El Salvador. European Union says, listen, we got to do this. Czech Republic yesterday voted. Listen, we're gonna have a vote to see if we wanted to pursue this a Bitcoin strategic reserve in our country. They voted. They said yes. If
yeah.
everything plays out, you still think that $150,000 is a low ball for the end of I mean, during this bull cycle, that's the top.
Um, so I'd say in that aspect of things, it's it could be because it just depends on how quickly. I mean, if you look at the rate of increase, it has gone up by within that short like time period from November to December time. Like it is like hold on, let me just double check the percentage of that. So it's gone up about like 28, 27, 28%. But in my opinion, it'll probably be like maximum about 30 more percent as an increase. So that'll be roughly around. Hold on, if I look at it right now, then if it's to go back to its original price, it'll be a 25% increase to get to. Sorry, my bad. I was looking at the wrong token there. Just bear with me, because let's have a look now. I mean, even if it was to get to 150k, it'd be roughly about 50% increase, which is actually a pretty good return in general. But however, it can be quite hard to predict in that aspect of things. So I'm sort of I'd have to inspect that a bit further to get a better answer.
Okay, that's fine. So let's segue into altcoin season, right? Because according to your prediction, if it's $150,000, the money has to go somewhere, right? Global liquidity
Yeah,
is increasing. So things that go people that buy into Bitcoin, they say, listen, this is a time for Trump organizations, crypto project, World Liberty Financial has begun buying Ethereum the past 2 weeks. Yesterday they bought a huge amount. Yesterday and today they bought another huge amount this morning. And you have Larry Fink's BlackRock,
yeah,
good old Bitcoin Jesus, I like to call him. Bitcoin Jesus' firm bought tons of Ethereum yesterday. We're seeing that, traditionally speaking, we're entering altcoin season. Ethereum has been performing again. We've talked about this earlier. Has been outperforming Bitcoin the past 24 hours, and according to UTC.
yeah.
Ethereum predictions that I have right now, things can change. All the predictions are going to change, and I'm probably going to be wrong. Ethereum, $10,000 to $15,000. Yes or no, and why? Am I wrong or right?
So to 15,000, did you say?
Ten
Just to,
thousand low ball, 50,000 high ball.
well, at the moment, by looking at like the RSI, like the stochastic, like both RSI readings, at the moment, it's under like its low. What's it called now? There's a low momentum at the moment, so that means that in this case, if it doesn't build up in its potential, where there's like a little cross that goes through, I mean, obviously that sort of thing is easier shown than said, but it has its potential to grow further. But I'm not too sure about it reaching 10,000, but it can go back to. I mean, once it reaches $4,000, it has high likelihood to reach potentially 5,000, and that's sort of like the limit in that aspect of things, I believe. So it just
So you think that it's only going to go to 5,000, 10,000, even $10,000? My low ball is too high for you.
it would be. I mean, it feels like something like, let's say, in the next bull run, in the next few years, it could reach that. But I do think at the moment it would be quite soon to reach.
So
I
you're
mean, at the
saying
moment,
that you're saying you believe that the high this year cycle is 5,000? Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
But only once it reaches $4,000, it could reach about 4,500 as its potential rise. But it
Okay,
has to go past that point before it goes beyond it.
definitely. Okay, now next, Solana, $1,500 to 2,000. Before it was 1,000, but now we're seeing a lot of more adoption. The Phantom Wallet, which is basically like the meme coin casino, has just onboarded Sui and Sui tokens as well, which obviously will help Sui. But
Yeah,
Solana is gaining worldwide adoption. They've become quantum computing resistant recently.
yeah,
A lot of factors are basically lining up for them to have a bigger bull run than previously expected. They already hit their
yeah.
all-time high, just like Bitcoin last month. They almost hit $3,000, and we're not even in altcoin season yet. So
Mm.
my predictions right now: $1,500 to $2,000. Yes or no?
Yeah, so I'd say that that's still like, what was that price again? $1,500. Yeah, because at the moment it's under 200 $226. I'd say that would be extra put. What's it called? The price of it is like too disproportionate in terms of its comparison. So for something to reach that level would take a long time for like a major network like this one. So in my opinion, it could potentially reach. Let's see here, because at the moment it's close to its all-time high, but it could reach around $300 and beyond.
You know that his all-time high was actually like $293. $293 a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, 290.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
it
Yeah,
basically almost hit $300, which is what I'm saying. And also keep in mind that all these cryptocurrencies that we're talking about today,
mm,
with the exception of Sui, already have applications for ETFs to be listed on the stock market. This is a factor that
yeah,
we're not talking about as well. We have to move a little faster, okay?
of course.
XRP,
Yeah,
$50 to $100. So the banks of Japan have not integrated onto the XRP ledger yet. They're going to be doing it sometime in the third or fourth quarter of the year.
mm,
Also, you have to understand that XRP is trending because the little mini war we had last week with the Bitcoin maxis. And XRP, according to ChatGPT, if it had not gone to the court case, it
yeah,
would already be between $10 to $15 today, at least. So if assuming that it basically just destroys the numbers and it basically catches up, we have to assume that's going to be at least $20. I'm saying, hey, listen, the Bank of Japan is integrating this into their ledger, and it might be included in the. It looks like it will be included in the Federal Crypto Strategic Reserve in the U.S. So it's going to have a lot of marketing. And again, it's one of the two cryptos that specifically have been talked about being tax exempt from capital gains.
yeah.
People are not going to have income tax, and they're going to have cryptocurrencies like XRP and HBAR that are American made, American pride, and are exempt from capital gains tax. I'm saying low ball $50, high ball $100.
Five. So in this case as well, then I'd say it would like minimum be like 5x in terms of its price range. It's currently bullish at the moment. If I'm looking at the Morales Money, the indicator, and then there from what I can see, it does have potential to go further. But at the moment, I'd say roughly around $10. However, but with obviously the influence of Trump and being able to change it quite a lot, that will definitely, yeah, never surrender. Yeah.
I'm just
Uh,
you're
so,
gonna be talking. You're gonna be just be talking to Trump right now from now on. I'm kidding, but finish it. I'll finish your thought, and then we're gonna go to a speed round for the rest of them.
yeah, sure. So I'd say it has this. It's currently overbought at the moment at the level of 80. But however, like although the price has gone down a little bit, it hasn't like changed too much in terms of its RSI levels. I mean, the highest it was is at the price of 90 something, but it's gone down 10. So I'd say at the moment it'd reach $10 at least, but you have to like just give it a bit of time before it reaches that level. That's just my opinion.
Oh, great! And by the way, we're talking to certain people, and they're saying that you have to get a mic too. I was forced to get a mic, so now you have to get a mic because we're getting into the parabolic zone of the cryptocurrency market. So you have to buy one of these bad boys. This is dope, right? You like it?
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
let's
it's
let's
pretty
move
cool. Yeah.
faster.
So yeah,
Okay, give me. I'm gonna do 1 minute each for the next of the next batch. And remember, of the next batch,
yeah,
every
sure.
single one is has applied had a company, a third party
Hmm.
investment firm or private equity firm apply for a ETF, exchange traded fund, to be listed on the U.S. stock market, equity markets. Dogecoin, again, please answer in 30 seconds to 1 minute for each of these because I gotta go and watch rugby.
Yeah,
Dogecoin,
sure.
$5 to $10. Low ball $5, high ball $10. Yes or no, and why?
Because the way that I rated it was like I put in bullish and bearish. So I just is it okay if I answer it in that aspect of things? Because if it's bullish, obviously it's gonna pump a lot. In terms of what price it would reach, it is obviously it's very hard to predict. But are you okay if I just say that if it's like bullish or bearish in that sense? And
Give me
then
a number.
okay, yeah. So yeah. So I'd say for Dogecoin then, in this case, I'd say $5 for that one.
Okay,
Because
so that's the first one that I'm correct in then of the day. Okay, anyway, let's go to the next one. Shiba Inu.
yeah,
I have a tenth
Shiba
of a
Inu.
cent, a tenth of a cent, low ball, 1 cent high ball. Yes or no? Why am I right? Why am I wrong?
So at the moment it's bearish. However, if it goes past the what's it called the support levels, then it could reach the low ball of 1 cent
One
or no
cent? You're
point.
saying
Actually,
you're saying you're
sorry. I looked at it a bit wrong. I said no point no 1 cent. Yeah, the low ball of that figure.
so you're saying that it's Shiba Inu is going to go to 1 cent?
No, I made my mistake. I read it the wrong way around. So it could 10x in its price because of its popularity.
And it can delete a zero, is what you're saying. So it could be three zeros, one.
Um, I mean, it can still go up. It's just it's currently bearish at the moment. But I'm just saying, if it reaches further levels, I mean, in my opinion, I think because the highest it ever reached was 0.000455 Um, if it reaches that level, like at its highest points, actually, hold on. If I look at the chart again, no,
Actually, let's
I'd
not
say
look at the
for that
chart.
one,
Hey, remember we have to
I'd,
go fast. Let's forget
yeah,
that. So
actually,
what
yeah.
is your
So I'd
what is
say it's a good potential buy, but I'd sort of recommend to sell it at zero point.
Sully, what's your not? Don't talk to me about Berkshire charts. What's
Yeah.
how many zeros? Point how many zeros? And what's the prediction?
So I'd say the prediction would be 0.001 cents. Um, yeah. So it'd be
You mean a
it'd
tenth?
be on the lower end,
You
but
mean
it's just slightly
you mean
less.
you mean a tenth of a cent, which what is about two zeros and one? And okay, that's fine. Okay, ADA. Not a fan, a
Okay.
favorite of mine, but it is what it is. It used to be an amazing buy, but it's I don't personally
Yeah.
believe it's a great buy right now because again, the mark. I always say, remember our thesis for our hedge fund VC from the opening up.
Yeah.
Technology does not sell. Marketing and partnerships do. ADA, $5 to $7. Yes or no, and why?
Um, $5 or yes. So I'd say for this one, no, I don't, because yes. Let's just see here. Bullish.
You have to go a little faster, by the way. Don't
Yeah,
worry
yeah.
about it.
Sorry
Just
about that. Yeah, because
give
at the
me a,
moment,
give me a,
what's
give,
the? Yeah, sorry. ADA, you said that's basically
the
Cardano,
price is
right?
like 90. It's like 98 cents. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just
Yeah,
marketing, just gut feeling here. We have to go soon.
yeah, sure.
ADA, it's at 98 cents now. It's been a dying token and trending, but it did go past the super low of like whatever how many cents it was. Do you think it
Yeah.
can go to a low range of $5 and or a high range of $7? Yes or no, and why?
Um. Yeah, so I'd say this one is probably going to go a bit further down before it increases. So no, I don't
I
think
don't
it'll
care
reach
about.
that
I'm not
level.
care about decreasing. I care about what is the high it's going to touch this bull cycle. Is it going to be a low end of $5 to a high end of $7? Yes or no, and why?
Yeah, because I opened up the wrong one there, so I do apologize. So I'd say this one will probably reach about $2.
Max.
Yeah, because that's just
Okay,
where like
good.
a good level support is. Yeah,
That's fine. Sui. Sui
sweet.
is opening a new technology where basically you're not going to be. You don't have to know anything about cryptocurrency. You don't have to even have internet. They're having an
Mm,
SMS system that's going to be integrated onto phones, where basically
yeah.
I can send money to you or somebody in the U.S., my country, or abroad using a text message. They want to basically say, listen, we want people that use Web 2.0 to use Web 3.0 seamlessly without even knowing it exists. Kind of like we use
Mm,
phones, smartphones. We don't know how the hell this technology works, but we know it works. They're
yeah.
the future, in my opinion, of PayFi. You know, PayFi, payment financial services in cryptocurrency, decentralized payments. On top of that, they just integrated into Phantom. I opened Phantom Wallet 3 days ago, and guess what I saw? You can now buy Sui and use Sui to buy Sui meme coins on Phantom, the biggest casino in the world right now.
Yeah.
Sui, I predict because they are saying, listen to what I'm saying clearly. It is the Solana of the cycle. What did Solana do last cycle? It went from like some whatever how many cents to almost $230. So I'm gonna play it safe. We're in a diluted market. We have a lot more tokens than we had before,
Yeah.
right? Solana is Solana. It's taking market share from what is Ethereum. And again, Sui is a competitor to Solana. However, they're working with Solana. They have the PayFi down, Sui. Solana has the casino meme coins down. Trump.
Yeah.
Trump and Bonk are going to get their own separate ETFs on the stock market in addition to Solana. So you can't take away too much market share from Solana. Even though the markets will go up, you're going to have a bigger market share to work with. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to say that Sui hits a low ball of $80, a high ball of $100. So low ball, $80 per token, high ball, $100 per token. 30
Yeah.
seconds to a minute. Yes or no? And why?
I'd say no. It will pump up in price, but in my opinion, it'll reach about $15, as it's like the lower point of what you're predicting, because it'll be over inflated in terms of its price range of being $80, which is about 80. Hold on a second. It's about 40 times its price, so it's a bit like too extortionate in terms of like the change in that. So that'd say about like 5x in price.
Alrighty, the last one, HBAR Hydrera. You know their governing council has Google and basically every major corporation. Tata, you know India, Tata. Tata's on the Tata
Yeah.
group, the holdings company is on their and on their governing council. Right
Yeah.
now, Starlink, you know Starlink, right? So they're
Of
starting more and
course.
more,
Yeah.
they're sending more and more satellites into space. They use HBAR Hydrera hash graph. They use the HBAR like right now as we speak for all
Mm,
their data on Starlink. NVIDIA is rumored to, although we have credible sources saying that they are being used for, they're using HBAR for their data as well. NVIDIA, the
okay.
biggest AI company in the world. Also, the government of Ghana is, in fact, using them to launch their CBD, central bank digital currency. Ghana's a pretty big company, not tiny, right? It's a medium-sized country. On top of that, we are having HBAR was one of the first cryptocurrencies to, and after Trump won, within the first weeks, to basically say, listen, we have to hop on this and get HBAR an ETF application. filed within 2 weeks of Trump winning. I think it was the first week after Trump won.
Yeah.
I'm giving it I'm giving it a low ball. Elevates, bro, but I'm giving it's already gone up crazy. It went from like 4 cents where I bought it to like 40
Mm.
almost 40 cents. I'm giving it a low ball of $5 to $7. Which, by the way, if you bought in 4 cents, that's like over 1,000 return.
Mm.
What do you think? Yes or no? Good or bad? $5 low end, $7 high end. Am I too low?
So I'd say for this one, it's going to go up, but in my opinion, it'll be roughly $2, which is still it's roughly about a 10x increase. So I'd say about $2 for that one.
That's where it's from now. Again, I bought at 4 cents, and it's already gone like what 10x from there. All right.
It's at nearly 40 cents now, isn't it?
Yep. Wait, it touched 40 cents. That was a cycle high
Okay.
in this past like 6 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that being said, do you have any last thoughts? Give me concrete, straight up last thoughts before we head out and I ride into the sunset to go watch my rugby
Yeah.
and go on Rumble for a little bit. But then I'm gonna watch my rugby and then Rumble right after. Anything that you want to tell me? Any last? Oh look, this is a good angle for me. It's a great angle. I gotta get a winter cowboy. But anyway, what are your last
Yeah.
thoughts? I had one, but
Yeah.
somebody stole it from me. Go ahead.
So I'd say like with my last thoughts is like a lot of this is like to do like speculation. So don't always like take it to grain of heart. Always do like check if you're like someone that's very into like crypto. I'd say check it on like a weekly and monthly charts. I mean, sorry, for Bitcoin's monthly charts, and then the other ones like let's say like the older like altcoins on a weekly basis to just sort of see how it's going, and always have like your own target of what you want to sell it at. Because the prices that we are stating, it might not actually happen, but it's just something, just pure speculation. And
Definitely. So
so,
I mean, with that being said, brother, I have to get going. You so do you do so do you? I'm sure you have a lot of things to do in England. All right, take
yeah,
it easy on the fish and chips. And with that being said, upwards and onwards.
yeah.
See you in a week or so. Ciao.
Mhm.